This was not just an attack on a bridge, because bridges are rarely just bridges. In modern warfare, bridges can be targets because of what they connect. Railways, roads, power, trade. Destroy the connection, and you can begin to change the map without moving a border. Most people see destruction. Military planners see something very different, because sometimes the real battlefield isn't the country. It's the map. Hello friends. Welcome back to another episode from History Talk and Common Sense. Today we're going to look beyond the headlines, because if you've been following recent events, you may have noticed something unusual. Infrastructure, railroads, bridges, highways, border crossings, electricity. These are increasingly becoming targets. At first glance, these attacks seem unrelated, but place them on a map, and a pattern begins to emerge. Not a pattern about bombs, a pattern about geography. For thousands of years, geography has determined who becomes rich, who becomes powerful, and who becomes indispensable. Long before oil existed, Persia stood at the crossroads connecting east and west. The Silk Road didn't pass through the region by accident. It followed the easiest routes between civilizations. Caravans moved through Persia because the landscape made it possible. Empires fought over these routes because whoever controlled them controlled commerce. Technology changed. Ships replaced caravans. Railways replaced camel trails. Pipelines replaced merchant caravans. But one thing never changed: the map. Today, a new network is quietly taking shape across Eurasia. Railways stretching from China toward Europe. North-south transport corridors linking Russia to the Indian Ocean. Highways connecting Central Asia, the Persian Gulf, and beyond. Ports expanding. Freight terminals growing. Customs agreements multiplying. Each project may appear independent. Together, they create something much larger. An alternative trading system. Look at Iran on a globe. It connects the Caspian Sea to the Persian Gulf. It links Central Asia to the Middle East. It provides one of the shortest land routes between Russia and the Indian Ocean. It sits beside the Strait of Hormuz. It borders multiple regions simultaneously. Geography has placed Iran where continents almost meet. No government created that advantage. Nature did. This creates an uncomfortable reality. If major powers wish to build uninterrupted land connections across Eurasia, Iran naturally becomes important. If other powers prefer trade to remain dependent on existing maritime routes, that same geography becomes a challenge. Notice something important? This isn't necessarily about one country. It's about competing visions of how the world should be connected. One model relies primarily on sea lanes. Another increasingly depends on continental corridors. The competition isn't only economic. It's strategic. Now return to the infrastructure. Imagine two neighboring cities. Destroy a factory, and production slows. Destroy the bridge leading to the factory, and everything behind it becomes isolated. The factory, the warehouses, the railway, the highway, the port, all lose value. Military planners have understood this principle for generations. Sometimes destroying the connection creates more disruption than destroying the destination. Infrastructure is not simply concrete and steel. It is circulation. And when circulation stops, entire regions become disconnected. Throughout history, great powers have often sought to control choke points. The Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, mountain passes, sea straits, rail junctions. Not because they are glamorous, but because they determine movement. Movement of goods, movement of energy, movement of influence. When transportation networks change, the balance of power often changes with them. That may explain why transportation infrastructure receives so much attention during conflicts. Not because bridges fight wars, but because bridges shape the world that exists after the war. If future trade depends on uninterrupted land corridors, every missing bridge matters. Every damaged railway matters. Every blocked border crossing matters. Infrastructure is rarely just infrastructure. It can become strategy made visible. Does this mean every damaged railway is part of one master plan? No. Wars are chaotic. Many targets are chosen for immediate military reasons. Different governments pursue different objectives. Every conflict contains overlapping motives. History is rarely explained by a single cause. Maps are not passive drawings. They shape economies. They shape alliances. They shape wars. Political leaders change. Governments rise and fall. Weapons evolve. But geography keeps waiting. Patient, silent, unmoved. That is why military academies around the world continue teaching geography long after many classrooms stopped emphasizing it. Because geography never retired. It simply became invisible. The next time headlines announce another bridge destroyed, another railway cut, another logistics hub disabled, don't just watch the explosion. Open a map. Trace the routes. See what connected to what. You may discover that the most important battle wasn't taking place where the missiles landed. It was taking place across the lines that connect continents. And perhaps, the oldest weapon in history was never the sword, never the missile, never even oil. Perhaps it has always been the map itself. If this analysis has broadened your perspective, please like, share, and leave your thoughts below. That's the best way you can help this information reach more people. Let's decode the logic of power together.